Hello learners, in continuation to my last lecture, today I will highlight the main sociological concepts given by the founding fathers and also how sociology emerged in India. So August Comte, the father of sociology, gave important sociological concepts which are very much relevant till date. His concepts include social statics, social dynamics, and also the law of three stages. Social statics simply refers to those aspects in the society which are unchanging, like institutions. Institutions meaning like family, like marriage, like economy, polity, and so on. By looking at social statics, it means that in these institutions there are certain rules which govern the social relationship. And the other concept, which is social dynamics. Social dynamics refers to the ever-changing aspects of society. So if we talk about the institutions, so if we look at family, so family, the types may change, and the rules might also change. So the changing aspect of the society refers to social dynamics. Coming to the law of three stages, so Auguste Comte is very much known for this law of three stages. He basically focuses on the change that takes place in the human mind. This can be divided into three parts: the theological stage, the metaphysical stage, and the positivist or scientific stage. So according to him, he says that the human mind goes through three stages: the theological stage, where everything is explained in terms of a supernatural being, and second one is a mixture of explaining things in relation to spiritual aspect, as well as certain aspects of reason also comes in. And the third stage, which is the positivist stage, here there is only reason, only scientific explanation is needed here. Another sociologist by the name Herbert Spencer, he is known for the term survival of the fittest. So when I say survival of the fittest, automatically what comes to our mind? Charles Darwin. So according to Adam and Saidi in their book, they mentioned that survival of the fittest is a term which was introduced by Herbert Spencer, but it was popularized by Darwin. So in his theory, he basically looks at society from the evolutionary point of view, where he says that society evolved from the simplest to the most complex stage. After this, we have another important sociologist by the name Emile Durkheim. He brings about concepts like division of labor, organic and mechanical solidarity, where he says that solidarity is found in those societies which are based on heterogeneity, meaning that the different forms of labor in the society brings about solidarity or unity among them, whereas mechanical means that it is based on homogeneity, basically referring to the traditional society where everyone is interdependent of each other because of similarity. The next thinker is Max Weber and his wife Marion Weber. So Marion Weber, the wife of Max Weber, hardly gets any recognition for all the works that she does, because she has been always clubbed with her husband, and she is mainly the reason behind the development of the important concepts of Max Weber. So Max Weber's name is mostly related to the concept verse 10, which means understanding. So this understanding means that we need to understand the meanings that people give to certain phenomena. This also indicates that social reality cannot be just reduced to quantitative form of measurement, but we have to go and talk to people, understand the kind of interpretation that they give to certain events. So this is based on the qualitative approach of research that we have today. Sometimes this is also called as interpretivist form of understanding society. And next we have Karl Marx. We all know that Karl Marx is very much known for his class. Karl Marx, we all know that he has popularized the concept of class. He talks about class struggle, and mainly he look at society through two classes, that is bourgeoisie and the proletariat. So he's saying that these two classes have different forms of relationship with the forces of production. So from this, and as I had also mentioned a little bit, if we look at these classical thinkers, we could see the type of approaches or sociological perspectives and methods of data collection that they have used. So the relevance of these concepts today is that if you want to be a researcher, or if you are a researcher and you want to undertake quantitative studies, so the father of sociology, Auguste Comte, will be very much useful for you, because the term, as I had mentioned, positivism, basically it means quantitative method, and for qualitative method, Max Weber, and also Karl Marx makes uses of historical materialism, and survey method of data collection was undertaken by Emile Durkheim to conduct his research. So now, I want to bring you all towards the development of sociology in India. So when we talk about development of sociology in India, definitely the development of sociology that I had explained in the first lecture and also in this first part of the second lecture, that is the development in Europe, is very much relevant to India as well. All those thinkers like Auguste Comte, Karl Marx, Max Weber, whatever they had written about society is still very much relevant to Indian society as well. But the fact is that the Indian sociologists, or we can call them the founding fathers of Indian sociology, like G.S. Ghurye, we have Srinivas, we have Radha Kamal Mukherjee, we have A.R. Desai. So all of these Indian sociologists, their main argument was that India is such a diverse society and it is different from the Western society. So for this reason, we need to come up with certain concepts which are very distinct of Indian society, and the theories, there are certain theories which are applicable to the Western society and which are not necessarily applicable to the Indian society. So this was the main argument, the form of debate which was very prevalent during that point of time. So coming to the historical aspect of the development of sociology, so we can mainly divide this into the pre-independence and post-independence period, because in the pre-independence period, the Britishers were there. So the Britishers also conducted lots and lots of research works on Indian society. And their main purpose was mostly to be able to understand India as a country so that their rule will be more effective and they can implement new measures, new rules in order to make their administration very smoothly. And when we talk about post-independence, definitely if we look at post-independence, the period after independence becomes very crucial, because as the British left the country, it was during that time that all these scholars and learned Indians came together to study about Indian society and what all are needed to reinvent India as a country. So another point is that when looking at development of sociology in India, we have to bring in the aspect of its relation with social anthropology. So before, it was taught as a part of social anthropology. And it was in 1914. As I had mentioned, the pre-independence time. So in the pre-independence period, which is in the 1914, the government of India gave a funding grant to start teaching sociology with economics in Bombay University. Later in 1919, a department of sociology was founded with civics under the leadership of Patrick Geddes, who was the supervisor of G.S. Ghurye. And it was only in the late 1930s that sociology was taught as a full paper in the MA program. So if we look at the development of sociology in India, it is clear that it started with the MA program and not the BA program. So just to summarize the kind of studies that were undertaken by Indian sociologists when the Department of most of the research area that was the focus of the Indian sociologists comprises on caste system and certain types of theories that are related to it. And from a Marxist perspective, A.R. Desai brought in about Indian society, and there are also many other important foreigners or foreign scholars like Louis Dumont, Robert Redfield, who have done extensive study on Indian society. The approaches mostly used were Indological method, where they have to go and study the classical Indian text, Indian literature, and it was through the work of M.N. Srinivas that the focus started on field work. So learners, with this, I conclude the second part of my lecture series. In the third lecture, I will continue with the Indian sociologists and their works and conclude by summarizing the contents of this whole lecture series. I will conclude by summarizing the contents of this whole lecture series. Thank you.